different transitions in shuttle ended and what we're moving to. Kind of four main programs. You've got the ground systems development operation. They're developing all the new infrastructure for both the SLS launch system as well as commercial launch system. And actually, let me go forward and I'll go through each of these in more detail. Okay, GSDO, they've taken the old shuttle high infrastructure pads and they've turned it into a design process that allows local use by different commercial vehicles. The VAB with four big high bays, multiple vehicles will be able to be processed in there at the same time. For the SLS program, they've created a new standalone mobile launcher. And then our firing rooms, which are these big, massive firing rooms for hundreds of people, have been now segmented. One of them has been segmented so that you can have four small firing rooms, one for each of a different commercial customer working in there at the same time. So again, this is, for NASA, the focus is this SLS, this Space Launch System. It's going to be a 140 metric ton launch vehicle. This isn't something that typically commercial would do. It's for deep space. It will use the Orion capsule, or it will be for very large payloads. Launch Service Program. This is kind of our launch broker. For all of the NASA payloads, they go to the different launch vehicles, and each launch vehicle has to be certified to be within this plan, and then they all bid as each payload comes out to see whether they'll launch that particular NASA vehicle. Another thing is CubeSat. CubeSat is something pretty new in the last few years, and that's put a lot of time and effort into putting together specifications, CubeSats, how they're ejected. So we're working very hard in that area as well, and enable commercial customers. This is the Launch Service Program manifest. We see a lot of
Sorry, guys.
Go ahead.
Sorry, guys.
So this just kind of shows you see a lot of Earth observing satellites in this group. Unfortunately, the EXO payload was more like 2017, 2018. This is a really big step for NASA, the Commercial Crew Program. For NASA to turn over the launch capability of astronauts to commercial customers, to the commercial community, was so forward-leaning. I can't tell you what a huge political battle it was to actually make this happen. So we have multiple launch vehicles teamed with 3 different spacecraft that are bidding on that opportunity to launch the NASA astronauts. So you basically have combinations like SpaceX, they have a launch vehicle, then they have a Dragon capsule. You've got Boeing with their CST-100, they're going to be launching on an Atlas V unit. And then you have the Dream Chaser, which is here in Nevada. They're also partnering with Atlas to launch their vehicle. And then, of course, Space Station. We've heard a lot about Space Station, exciting stuff, incredibly boring stuff. But I can tell you, every piece of hardware that is on orbit went through KSC and was processed in our Space Station processing facility. That was an amazing experience, a cultural experience with all the different countries coming in and working together. And with that, I thank you so much for that.
So one of the things that Al and I do at the Space Center is we work in partnership development to develop office, mainly handling commercial partnerships. So this shift that we're going to take here in the presentation is going to kind of focus more so on the commercial sector and what we do within our office. So a lot of the conversations that we've been having over the last 6 weeks have really talked about how the industry is changing. Before we talked about the space race, but no longer is it about the space race. It's about this global partnership where we all can get to that destination we're attempting to get to. So what we're starting to see now is there's a lot of trends here in the area of research and training, spacecraft development. One of the things that I did want to point out here is a lot of these people here that you see on this chart are partners that we work with in our office. So you have Mastin up at the top out of Mojave in California. Of course, we have SpaceX. We have our friends here, which just changed their name to Space Exploration Corporation station, also the X2 vehicle. This here is a representation of the shuttle landing field, which is our primary asset that we work. This is an Atlas rocket. We have this plane here is our Stratolaunch vehicle. Bigelow, thank you. And then at the top we have so in order to really transform the Space Center, we had to come together and try to figure out how were we going to approach this. So the starting point that we started with was trying to redevelop our master plan. How are we situated out there? Are we in the right position where we can take on new work, new activities out at the Kennedy Space Center? So we had some folks come together, look at our existing assets, look at our workforce, to try to determine whether or not we could answer the no on those things. So, I'm not going to talk a lot about this, but here you can see what the overall goals were for the development of the new master plan. So, we talked a lot about building a spaceport. The Kennedy Space Center is a launch facility. We launch rockets. We launch shuttles, we process payloads, we integrate payloads before we go off on a mission. But we wanted to be much bigger than that. We wanted to also be able to cater to the needs of the commercial industry. So what we've done is we've decided to kind of move our focus to being more of a spaceport, so kind of opening up our doors, so to speak. So we have a new facility that we just got a contract signed on last week, a new headquarters building. We'll have a lot of NASA activity going on in the facility, as well as some of our commercial customers. They'll be able to come in, rent space within the building. We've been refurbishing our launch pads. There's one that we remove all the structures that we used before to launch our shuttle. Now we have what we consider to be a clean design. That way you can bring any type of rocket in and do this whole plug and play. We've been modifying our VAB as was alluded to earlier, and just general overall infrastructure upgrades to the property. So here I'm going to talk a lot about these, but I do want to highlight a few of the partnerships that we have at KNC and some of the assets. So one is the OPF-3, which is our orbital processing facility, Phase 3. We began to deal with Space Florida about 2.5 years ago. It was just released last year. Their partner is going to be, and Space Florida is an economic development entity within the state, and they're working with Boeing. Boeing's plan for the facility is to develop their CST-100 in there. And all that's going to be contingent upon them being selected within the commercial crew program. The other one is SLF, which is this big runway here, 3 miles long, pretty massive runway. We signed a deal. We're in the process of signing a deal with Space Florida. That's actually what Al and I were working on before we came here with Space Florida. And what the plan is to have commercial customers coming out and doing horizontal launch activities and landings there at the site. Then, of course, there's our famous Pad A, which we signed a deal in late March, early April. The SpaceX would come in and launch from the structure. And that would be that one at the bottom. And this here is how we hope to see KNC in the future. As you can see, we have a whole host of rockets taking off down there. Some ours, some commercial customers. We have Lynx 2 up there flying, got Stratolaunch down on the ground. Let's see, we got Orion capsule there at maybe CST-100, not really sure what that is. Delta 4. So a lot of activity going on at Kennedy Space Center. And that's our time. You guys have any questions for us?
For space program, do you think about putting some as a headspace and give another service at space, like refueling or something?
Would we be refueling on orbit?
Something, I don't know.
I can tell you that NASA is looking at that potential, but for KSC right now, we're either KC ground-based, or the other thing that we specialize in is surface systems for other planets. So that's the other area that we got a lot of, we would be supporting other companies.
So the short answer, Goddard Space Center, they're the ones who really Matthew may be a good person to talk to, definitely.
So what are you guys doing about security? I mean, back when it was government only, you had national employees or contractors that didn't get off the compound. Now you've got any number of companies in certain segments.
Okay, good question. So, some of our facilities are outside of our gate. They don't necessarily have to come through the gate, show a badge or ID to get to those facilities. The SLF, if and when we do get that agreement, the plan is to eventually get that outside of the gate, so there won't be any issues there. There are some partners that are behind the gate, SpaceX and then a couple others. But the plan is, or I should say what we're doing is, as long as you have the appropriate documentation that allows you to work in the United States, then you are allowed access to the Space Center
Ask us that.
for official purposes. Okay.
You guys are, I guess, in competition now with some of the private spaceports like that in Mojave Desert. What sort of, is there enough launch capacity to support both facilities, or are you guys just trying to attract people?
Okay, so we're completely separate from the spaceport in Mojave and Spaceport America. That's non-NASA related, it's all commercial. I think that we are all trying to determine whether or not there's a true market for it. First stab at the analysis says there is. As we're seeing within the commercial industry, we all laugh and joke about the government being really slow, but believe it or not, industry is just as slow as we are when it comes to the space industry. There's a real big issue with raising capital.
And the one thing, we have a lot of other services that we can provide that most other spaceports don't have.
Yes, so I was wondering which companies, apart from SpaceX, are actually bidding to take NASA astronauts up?
There's 3 spacecraft companies, and you've got Sierra Nevada, SpaceX, and Boeing. And then they choose the launch vehicle they want to fly on.
Have you had any talks about involving international partners? There's one in Switzerland called Space Systems.
So yeah, we have been in some conversations with some international partners. We've had discussions with Swiss Space Systems. We've also spoken to Airbus. So conversations are on the table, nothing's definitive as of yet.
But we are absolutely open if international customers want to come and work with us. We'd love to do the deal.
It's being high power.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I worked a bit on the feasibility analysis for the UK spaceport. It looked good, so I think there is a market. But I was wondering how far into depth for your design you've gone. So you mentioned the 3-mile runway. We came to a similar number. Have you looked at other infrastructure that you need? Refueling stations, things like that. How far have you gone?
We actually just went through a full area development plan and looked at all different fueling, arrangements. The biggest problem is your blast danger areas and those QDs. So yes, we laid it all out. We figured out where we want to put a number of the different customers and how we're laying it out.
How public is that going to be?
I don't know. I'll look into that and see what I can share with you.
And because I might be able to share UK spaceport stuff as well.
Okay.
Other question?
For payloads, other than people, how closely are you going to monitor what goes up and what kind of qualifications are you going to have to do to launch your facilities?
For who?
For anybody, if I'm Mr. X and I want to, I buy a spot on SpaceX, say, for my scientific payload, are you going to qualify that? Who qualifies that? Who's in charge of payload investigation?
So, okay, so if you are a customer and you're working with SpaceX and you want to launch a payload, the onus is on SpaceX, I'm trying to say, not say Spaceport.
SpaceX stands alone.
Okay.
They do not meddle in their business at all. As long as they don't drop a rocket on us, we're happy.
I mean, there are certain aspects that we do care about, as long as what they're doing is safe to the range. You're not dropping rockets out of the sky on facilities that people or the general public because we can be held liable for it. But for the most part, we try to get out of the way and let them operate as